Brewers Field. No rain yet. A few sprinkles. The Marlins lineup going for a series win here on a Sunday in Denver. Jam Lexus brings it to you. D. Gordon in the leadoff spot, still leading all of baseball in hitting. Martin Prado has good numbers against Kyle Kendrick. Giancarlo Stanton's in right. Justin Bour in the cleanup spot. Marcell Ozuna, a nice series. Christian Yelich has a hit in each game. JT Real Muto's turned into a triples machine of late. Adeiny Echeverria stays hot. He's at 309, and Jose Urena is in the 9 spot. D. Gordon on deck, getting ready to go. Being set to face the Rockies and Kyle Kendrick. Kendrick, the 30-year-old out of Mount Vernon, Washington. Former Philly, his first year as a Rocky.
Well, let's see what the defense looks like behind Kyle Kendrick. There's Brandon Barnes in left field, Charlie Blackmon, Carlos Gonzalez in right. Nolan Arenado, Troy Tulowitzki, DJ LeMahieu, they all own gold gloves. Willeen Rosario's the first baseman, hit a couple of home runs yesterday. Nick Huntley behind the plate. And yes, we have seen Kyle Kendrick before, but in the past, we've always seen him in a Philly uniform, so hopefully the transition in uniform will change the Marlins' luck against this 30-year-old right-hander. He has not fared well this year. 2-7 record. You see the high ERA. He's 0-3 here at Coors with a 7.99 earned run average. One of the reasons, as we check on the scouting report of Kyle Kendrick, just not keeping the ball down. He is deceptive. He gives you that little pause in his delivery. But the sinker, the cutters, they've been up in the strike zone. Talking with his manager, Walt Weiss, about that. Yeah, he's been a Marlin killer, but maybe things change once the uniform is changed.
Opening day starter for the Rockies. Dan Jennings and the Marlins trying to get out of town with a series win. Fish coming off a series win over the Chicago Cubs. And a game yesterday that got away early on David Phelps. The Rockies jumped Phelps for 4 runs in the first and never looked back. Miami scored 3 runs in the 9th to make it a 10-5 Colorado win. And of course on Friday night, the Marlins did the same. They hammered early at the Rockies and ended up with a 6-2 win on a nice start from Tom Kohler. And the lefty the Marlins saw yesterday, they're going to see next week, you would think. Chris Russin is turning into a nice piece in their rotation.
Well, he had a career high with those 8 strikeouts, 7 innings. Really seemed to keep the hitters off balance, change speeds. I don't think he touched 90 miles an hour on the radar gun. He didn't need to. He really pitched well and certainly got a lot of early support from his offense, too.
Yeah, Russin and Chad Bettis right now are kind of the best thing going in that starting rotation for the Rockies. There's Russin. David Hale as well in that rotation has pitched well. Rockies are headed to St. Louis before they arrive in Miami on Thursday for a 4-game weekend series. Ready to go. Kyle Kendrick on the mound. D. Gordon is in the box. Gordon yesterday with 2 hits, including a double, and he leads it off on a cloud-covered Sunday afternoon in Denver. Pitch Penny brings you the first pitch. Mike DeMuro calls it a strike, and this ball game is underway.
It's hard to explain to the fans. It seems like every day when we arrive at the ballpark, it's gorgeous. Beautiful sunshine, clear blue skies, and then the clouds roll in.
Gordon takes in. Now yesterday, kind of the tone setter, D. Gordon smashed one off the wall in right, but then in a Gold Glove relay from Carlos Gonzalez to DJ LeMahieu to Nolan Arenado, D. Gordon was caught at third base. Smokes that one off the glove of LeMahieu. My goodness. D. Gordon isn't just getting hits, he's getting line drive hits.
Well, a 5-game streak for now for D. Gordon. 85 hits on the year, and so many have been lined sharply. Yeah, he's had some bunt hits. Yeah, he's had some infield hits. But he's hit some other balls really hard.
So Gordon's aboard. Now Martin Prado with Giancarlo Stanton to follow.
Kendrick, pretty good move. Pretty quick to first base.
Prado pops it up, and it's out of play. Now, Prado has good numbers against this righty, you would think, as Prado played many ball games for the Atlanta Braves, and Kendrick was in that Phillies rotation. 26 at bats, 10 hits. Eight years of Philly was Kendrick. Long wait. Prado asked for time.
You know, he was always that guy in the rotation with the Phillies. 3 times he had 11 wins, 3 times he had 10. He was never a 15, 16 game winner. He never threw 200 innings. And he was always that guy who was your 4th or 5th starter. He had some pretty good guys ahead of him, too.
Yes, he did. It's a great rotation. Durable, dependable. Every rotation needs a guy like Kendrick, and the Phillies used him quite well. He's part of that World Series championship team, and the team that got back to the World Series and lost to the Yankees. Gordon away from first. 20 stolen bases on the season. As Tommy pointed out, Kendrick quick to first and quick to the plate. Prado a liner, and that's into right field. Cargo over to get it. Gordon around second, all of a sudden puts it in gear, and the throw is high. Prado to second. He's out by a bunch, and the ball's dropped. He's safe. The ball was dropped. The second base umpire, Phil Cuzzy, said out and didn't see the ball. D. Gordon must have gone from 3rd to 4th gear.
I like the gear change right here. There it is. He puts it on. He challenges Carlos Gonzalez because the throw was high. Prado took off, knew no one was going to cut it off. The throw beat him, but it was dropped by Troy Tulowitzki.
And Tulowitzki couldn't hold it, and so here is Stanton with runners at 2nd and 3rd, and nobody out. No error on the play. Stanton goes after the first pitch, pops it up, 3rd base side. Hundley over towards the dugout, and it just gets in about 2 rows over the dugout.
Here's another thing to file away. We've talked about Stanton's struggles against Kendrick, 3 for 26. He has homered. Another reason the Rockies signed Kendrick as a free agent, because he was durable, all those things you said, but because he threw a lot of sinkers. The problem is he's given up 15 home runs. He leads the league in allowing home runs.
Guy that will cut it, sink it. His 0-1 to Stanton. And he misses outside. For Giancarlo, as we showed you in the outset, a forgettable first 4 at bats. 4 strikeouts against Chris Russin. And then he singled in the 9th inning against Rafael Betancourt. Actually doubled down the right field line. Pulls that one foul. The batting practice that Stanton took today was mostly driving the ball to right field, driving the ball to right center field. He did not put on the long ball display that you see sometimes.
No, Ichiro did.
Yeah, you're right. Ichiro took care of that.
See if Kendrick goes away. He ran that 2-seamer in on that hard foul ball. See if he stays there, if he goes off the plate with his slider.
Breaking ball, and he got him.
Kind of a backup slider that had some sink to it. This is supposed to be away, but it backs up and moves downward and gets the big man.
So Kendrick, an important out for him. Still Gordon at 3rd, Prado at 2nd, and here is Justin Bour, who was 1 for 4 on Friday night, getting the start against right-hander Eddie Butler. Bour's batting practice consisted mostly of exactly what Stanton did, and that was driving the ball to left center field and driving it to center field. Which
ironically was the first day the Marlins were able to take batting practice on the field because of all the rain.
Infield backed up. A ground ball should produce a run. And Bour pops it foul, and it's caught there by Willeen Rosario. And so Kyle Kendrick, faced with second and third and nobody out, all of a sudden is second and third and 2 outs.
Well, you were hoping that the Marlins, with the little break they got with Tulowitzki dropping that ball and setting up second and third, nobody out, you were hoping a little break there would move things forward. Now it's going to take a big 2-out base hit from Marcell Ozuna, who has done that within the last week.
Ozuna, 7-game hit streak. You're right, in that Cubs series, Ozuna a big double after the Marlins had the bags loaded and nobody out. Couldn't move the runners, and Ozuna with 2 outs knocked him in. Kendrick, a fastball in. For Kendrick, the game plan, quite simply, is not to get the ball on the plate. Keep it just off the plate.
And ironically, the 2 guys with base hits to start things, not a part of that 14-3 record for Kendrick against the Marlins. Martin Prado with the Braves, D. Gordon with the Dodgers.
Well, Stanton, Ozuna, Yelich, Echeverria, they've seen plenty of Kendrick. 1-1. It's 1-2. And you can see the illustration of what we were talking about. He doesn't want to be on the plate. He wants to be just on the edges.
This will be a confidence builder for him if he's able to get out of this jam.
The 1-2 to Marcell Ozuna. Sharply hit into left field. That's a base hit. Gordon will score. Prado will score. And once again, Marcell Ozuna picks up Miami's big hitters. They failed to get the runs home, and with 2 outs, Ozuna cleans it up.
Well, that's just great. He has had a good series, and the confidence goes a couple of ways. If Kendrick, look at how they're playing him up the middle, too. He gets that ball to the right of Tulowitzki. If Kendrick gets out of that inning, all of a sudden he's saying, hey, I still have the magic against the Marlins. He doesn't get out of it because of a big 2-out hit from Marcell Ozuna.
Here's Christian Yelich now. Yelich bangs one into right field, right on the screws. And he's got a base hit. Ozuna stops at second. Tommy, I don't ever recall seeing a shortstop shade Ozuna that far over to second base.
In a non-double play situation. That's usually where you see a shortstop play in a double play situation, pinched up toward the middle.
Especially with a guy that doesn't throw in the 90s.
So that time, Ozuna crossed up the defense. Look, he hits this ball up here. You can see how far Tulowitzki was playing up the middle. Great job.
Now Real Muto, who had a special night certainly on Friday, was 4 for 4, including his 4th triple. And a lot of teasing around the cage. Real Muto lining balls in the gap during batting practice. Everyone said, well, that's a triple. There's another triple. A swing and a miss. And it's 0-1. Frank Medicino very complimentary of Real Muto and the adjustments that he's made. Being thrown in as the everyday catcher, having to handle a pitching staff and try to produce at the plate. In the air, right center. Charlie Blackmon is under it, and he makes the catch. But Miami gets 2 to open this Sunday in Denver, 2-0. Miami 2 runs to open up this ball game. You got it. Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead day. Jan Lexus brings you the lineup for the Rockies. Charlie Blackmon, DJ LeMahieu. There's Tulowitzki, and he's hot right now. He had the day off yesterday. Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado is having an all-star season. Willeen Rosario had 2 home runs yesterday. Nick Hundley back behind the plate. Brandon Barnes is in left, and Kyle Kendrick is in the 9 spot. A Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead.
Pretty valuable item here in Denver today.
10,000 of those given out. Jose Urena, who came right out from his shirt there.
Giving us a little Dontrell Willis.
Got to tuck it back in.
Here's what you want from Jose Urena. You hope that in his last start against the Cubs, gave up 4 hits and 3 runs in 6 innings. A couple of those runs were in the first inning. He threw the next 5 innings, gave up just 1. So you want to see him build off that, continue with the confidence. He goes out there with a 2-run lead.
Charlie Blackmon digs in. DJ LeMahieu, and then Tulowitzki. A lot of 2-seamers from Urena. You'll mix in a 4-seamer as well. Blackmon, the All-Star last year.
We saw him use some nice changeups in that game against the Cubs as well.
He went. It's a swing. Blackmon wanted a appeal to third, and he won't get it. Mike DeMuro not going down to Tony Randazzo. Urena misses low in that ball game against the Cubs on Monday. The Cubs got 2 early runs, and Urena kind of settled down, ended up going 6, giving up 3 runs. Chopper over the middle. D. Gordon having an extraordinary defensive year. Makes the stop, gets the out. And with 1 out, a look at Miami's defense.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which way D goes, to his right or to his left. There's Yelich, Ozuna, Stanton, a lot of room in this outfield at Coors Field. Martin Prado, Echeverria, D. Gordon, and over at first base, Justin Bohr behind the plate, JT Realmuto. So it's been a treat watching D. Gordon and Echeverria up the middle all year.
He's got the low tops going. Remember, the ankle tweaked on Friday night. He told me the infield dirt today is a lot firmer and a lot harder than it was on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, they've had an opportunity to work on it a little bit.
DJ LeMahieu takes out. In our discussion before the telecast, we were talking about who might be the Rocky All-Stars. There's a look at that infield. And I think the guy at the plate is a candidate. LeMahieu is a Gold Glover, and his bat is starting to catch up to his glove. He's 3rd in the National League in hitting, and he's in the top 10 in on-base percentage, a .394 on base and a .339 average.
Well, I'll tell you what, if the National League has D. Gordon starting and LeMahieu backing him up, they'll be all right at second base.
You're right. Urena kind of walked off the mound like he had a strikeout. Remember, in that start, there were a couple of pitches that he thought were strikes, and he did the same thing, and it didn't endear him to the home plate umpire. Here's a 2-2. Into left field, a base hit. So a base hit. There's the Fox tracks, and the pitch that he thought was a strike was number 4. Pitch 5 was the one that was just hit. That's a ways outside, and for a young pitcher to look into the umpire and want that type of pitch, it's something he's got to dial back.
He will not endear himself to the umpires. Mike DeMuro behind the plate, and actually I think the pitches against the Cubs that he thought were strikes we saw were off the plate.
But a young pitcher just finding his way in the big leagues. This is just his 3rd start in the major leagues. Now he's got Tulowitzki. Don't let those numbers fool you. Not as healthy as you would expect with Tulowitzki, but it's getting there. He's really hot right now. A .542 average last 6. That might be 2. Gordon the turn from Echeverria, and Miami gets a double play. Nicely done by the rookie, Jose Urena. Headed to the second, 2-0 Miami. Coach between innings.
It's a good move. He gets to Jose Urena and is talking about questioning the umpire. See, I'll question him. I'll say a few things from the dugout. Kind of makes a motion. Just get the ball. Get the ball. There you go. Get it. Throw it back. And I think it's a good move after he just got a nice 6-4-3 double play. Gave up just one hit. You probably wouldn't do that. Chuck wouldn't do that if he'd given up a run and a couple of hits. But a good time to do it there.
Adeiny Echeverria, Urena's on deck, and then D. Gordon. And that one lined into center field. Blackman is there, and he makes the catch.
Well, the Marlins are hitting some balls hard against Kyle Kendrick, and that's a good sign.
The Marlins are trying to do something that I don't think any team has been able to do this year, and that is in the same week beat Kyle Hendricks and then Kyle Kendrick. Marlins beat Kyle Hendricks with the Cubs on Tuesday, and here is Kendrick on Sunday. And Urena looking for his first hit in the big leagues.
That is somewhere in the stat pack.
Yes.
Jose looking for his first base hit as a major leaguer. How about Carter Capps got his the other night?
Kendrick misses. The count's 2-1. Marlins got 2 runs in the first. A D. Gordon single, a Martin Prado single, a drop tag by Troy Tulowitzki, and they were set up second and third with the big guns coming up. Stanton, Justin Bour, Marcell Ozuna. Stanton struck out on a slider from Kendrick. Bour popped out on the infield, and it was up to Ozuna, and he came through again. Cracked a single through the left side to drive in both runs. Here's a 2-2. A nice take by Urena. Nick Hundley back behind the plate. Starter in game 1 of the series. Kendrick strikes him out with a fastball. Marlins and Yankees coming up. Showdown at Marlins Park starts on Monday, June 15th, and continues on Tuesday, June 16th. You can save money and get the best seats available with a prorated season ticket plan starting at just $15 a game. 1-877-MARLINS. Go to marlins.com.
Who knows? Could see CC Sabathia in that series. Picked up the win today for the Yankees, even though he allowed home runs to Mike Trout and Albert Pujols.
Gordon shortened to bunt. Nolan Arenado's not an easy third baseman to bunt on. The Gold Glover 2 times over in just his 3rd year in the big leagues. Kendrick bounces one up there.
Any situation in this series, especially if you're in a sacrifice situation, you want to bunt it to Rosario, who's not played a whole lot of first base.
Gordon fouls it back. P. Gordon with a base hit his first time up, popped his average up to 368. He leads the majors in average and in hits, 85 hits. The Marlins team record for batting average going into the All-Star break was 2000. Louis Castillo was hitting 369 at the time of the break. Gordon to left. Barnes is back, and he makes the catch. Marlins down in order. Headed to the bottom of the 2nd. In Denver, it's 2-0 Fish. Here in Denver, and all of you can enter now for a chance to win a trip to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game on Fox in Cincinnati for you and 3 of your friends. Just upload 2 photos at foxsports.com/fantastic all-star now through June 3rd. What kind of photos are you supposed to upload? Baseball photos, all-star photos, fan photos? I guess fan photos.
Yeah, I think in Marlins gear.
Maybe in your Marlin gear out in left field, getting a burger at Todd Helton's Burger Shack. Second inning for Jose Urena. Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado, Willeen Rosario.
We always try to give ourselves a little homework assignment to check on a few things. One of the ones we had today was see how the Helton burger was.
That's a homework assignment a lot of people would like, and we liked it as well. We give the Helton burgers a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Todd Helton-Berger Shack. Count 2-1 to Carlos Gonzalez. Marlins infield is shifted around. Jose Urena seemed a bit surprised. He turned around and Prado was no longer at short. He's now over at second, but with one strike, Marlins traditionally make that switch, and Cargo figures, you know what? I'm going to try to cross you up. Miami starts the shift with Prado on the shortstop side, just in case it's a short ball or a bunt, figuring Prado is a little more acclimated to that spot.
I know Carlos Gonzalez pulls the ball. There's the change taking place, like the change of guards, But I don't put Cargo in the same category as a Ryan Howard or somebody like that.
That would be Prado, his old spot at second base. Gobbles it up. First out of the second. Now another homework assignment is send Jessica Blaylock all over Coors Field. And she's at it right now. She'll be headed up to there's the Helton-Berger. Approved by the Rocky legend. The Mile High Rooftop Bar. They had a great concert up there, a rooftop concert before the ball game yesterday, and it's very busy right now. There you go. The Mile High Rooftop Bar. In both games of this series, there's a strike to Nolan Arenado. In both games of this series, they have had to evacuate not only the rooftop bar, but the upper deck because of lightning.
All of a sudden, some nice bright sunshine right now. That's a good sign.
Fans yesterday brought umbrellas. They needed it for both the rain and then the sun.
A little better command today from Jose Urena. Two-seamer, breaking ball. And certainly was having a tremendous year at AAA.
Martin Prado across the diamond, and Arenado is out, and Urena gets a couple of ground ball outs, and looks like the chat that Chuck Hernandez had with him has settled him a bit.
And all the outs have been on the ground. At AAA this year, Urena was 4-0 with a 1.21 ERA.
The only starter in the Pacific Coast League with an ERA south of 2.
That's saying something in the Pacific Coast League.
There is Rosario, and the Marlins just couldn't get him out yesterday or keep him in the yard. He homered twice. He swings and misses.
That's one of the reasons Walt Weiss has him in there. I don't know if the plan was to have him play today as well. We've seen the left-handed bat, Ben Paulson, but tough to keep a guy out when he goes deep a couple of times.
I think that's what happens when you have a hitting coach or a guy like a Walt Weiss who, you know, when he had 3 hits, he wanted to get right back in there. So he's, Walt Weiss, a guy that was the Marlins opening day shortstop when the Marlins really opened in '93. And the skipper of the Rockies for his 3rd season. There's the 2-1. Good pitch.
And on the bench with Walt Weiss, his manager back in that '93 season, Rene Latchman.
Rene Latchman, one of the more colorful and enjoyable people in the game.
First thing he said, how's Niner doing? How's Mr. Marlin doing?
Jose Urena cuts right through the Rockies in the second. 2-0 Miami. A reminder, even in the Rocky Mountains, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority. The Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. This is always such a great city to come to. And a big crowd here. Sunshine, Sunday, traditionally a great day to come to the ballpark. And the Rockies, despite losing 96 games last year, averaged 33,000 fans a game. Prado, Stanton, Bohr against Kendrick in the third. Martin singled in the first. He followed the D. Gordon single. And they both scored on the 2-out hit by Marcell Ozuna. There's a great look and a nice hat.
Yeah, you look up and down. There's that hat. That is a cool looking hat.
It looked like us on the night of the fantasy
yeah,
auction.
We may have to try to get one like that. Yeah, you look up and down the lineup, you see a few hitting streaks. D. Gordon at 5, Prado at 9, Ozuna at 8. Echeverria comes into the game with a 6-game streak.
There's a strike. I don't know if you can hear him, but there's a great singing. Sounds like a beer vendor down below.
We need to put him together with the guy at Citi Field.
The barking beer vendor. Prado, a really odd ground ball, spinning as it goes down the line. It stays fair. And Rosario scoops it up and gets Prado out.
That is not an easy play either because it has so much spin.
All right, Tommy Hutton, let's put you to work as a former major leaguer, card-carrying member of the Hitters Guild. Your thoughts on Giancarlo Stanton? The 4 strikeouts yesterday, and then he snapped back with a double to right, and he struck out his first time up today.
Well, I know you and I had a discussion before the game, and one thing you see in Giancarlo is sometimes he doesn't adjust to what the pitcher's doing to him. And if a pitcher continues to have success, he's going to keep doing it. And we saw Russin do that yesterday.
Left one out over the plate. Did you see how far Hundley was set? And that pitch came back over the plate. Stanton fouled it back to the screen.
And it was a good sign to see Stanton, his last at bat last night, drive that ball into right field. See, look where Hundley goes. Wants it outside, and Kendrick got away with one.
Stan hits a high pop-up down the third base line. Tulowitzki and Arenado, and it's Tulowitzki. Arenado looked like he was going to make it, and then in the last moment, he heard and probably felt the presence of Tulowitzki.
So Giancarlo actually got a couple of pretty good pitches to swing at. That one had so much hang time, it allowed Tulowitzki to get over there. It's always a little easier angle. You'll see shortstops and third basemen battle for that, but the shortstop has a little better angle.
Miami banged out 4 hits in that 2-run first. But since then, Kyle Kendrick has reverted back to the Philadelphia Philly version of Kyle Kendrick against Miami. Bohr popped out. Rockies infield is shifted around against Bohr. From what you've seen of Justin Bohr, the Major Leagues hasn't seen a lot of him. Would you shift to this extent?
I don't think so. I've seen him hit some balls, and he works on it to drive some balls the other way. Now, in this case, with 2 out, you don't want Justin Bohr to drop down a bunt. I think if you have him leading off an inning, it's a different story.
Of course, it all works if Kyle Kendrick pitches him correctly and Bohr asks for time.
That's the part of shifting that you don't talk about as much. I think it's more successful on teams that maybe have veteran pitchers who hit their spots a little better.
And Kendrick is. He's coming in trying to get under his hands. The count's 2-1.
And Kendrick, a guy over the years who's done that. Just move the ball around, in and out.
Moore on a breaking ball, pulls it to the right side. Rosario steps on the bag. 2-0 Miami. When you come to Colorado, you got to make a stop in the humidor, and that's where Jessica Blaylock is locked up next.
Is the altitude, and that can actually have an impact on baseballs as well. It really dries them out, makes them hard, almost makes them feel like a cue ball, so it's really difficult for pitchers to get a good grip. But that's why they keep the baseballs in the humidor. They try and soften them up. They actually don't come out until about 15 minutes before first pitch, and they have to be authenticated as well. So with the humidor, they're trying to do everything they can to help those baseballs out, but we know ultimately Coors Field is still a ballpark that favors hitters.
All right, thank you, Jessica. And Tommy, I was mistaken. She wasn't locked in. It looked like she was locked out.
Yeah, they won't just let anybody in. By the way, I think I read somewhere where they're building a little closet like that somewhere in Foxborough to make sure the footballs are all inflated at the proper.
Oh, let it
proper PSI.
Let it die, man. Let it die. Move on. 2-0. Jose Urena gave up a hit but got a double play grounder to finish the first. Worked a 1-2-3 second. He's got the bottom third of the order here. Nick Hundley, Brandon Barnes, and then the pitcher, Kyle Kendrick. We hope you're enjoying your Sunday afternoon, quickly turning to evening in Florida. Here an afternoon game in Colorado. And a high pop-up. Prado calling and Prado catching. It's been an entertaining series with the Marlins and the Rockies, and they meet again at Marlins Park next week, starting on Thursday. A 4-game series against the Rockies. Starts at 7:10. Seniors 55 and older can get free tickets on Seniors Free Ticket Thursdays, presented by Wellmax Medical Centers. You can visit your local South Florida Subway restaurants, get a coupon for a $5 ticket. Go to marlins.com.
Now the Rockies do not have an off day, nor do the Marlins. So it looks like that Thursday game we could see the left-hander who had such success against the Marlins last night, Chris Russin, match up against David Phelps.
Marlins in Toronto tomorrow night. Brad Hand against Marco Estrada. And a really special matchup on Tuesday night.
You don't want to miss that one.
Dan Herron against Mark Burley. Just turn off the speed guns, the radar guns. 6:30 start for Marlins Live on both Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday's an afternoon game and one of the few games that we don't televise.
I think, Rich, too, one of the plans for Dan Jennings in utilizing the designated hitter for that 3-game series, we're going to see Ichiro play all 3 games. Maybe the outfield a couple of games, maybe DH 1. Maybe Giancarlo will DH 1 game. But the one main component of that is Ichiro will be in all 3.
Pitches up to Barnes. The Marlins still have yet to, in interleague play, go to New York, Boston, and St. Pete. 3-2 pitch. Got him. Jose Urena, his second strikeout. And this is a different guy, Tommy, than we've seen in his 2 previous starts.
I think we're seeing a little calmer, a guy with some confidence. And all of a sudden, the pop is there, the sink is there with his fastball. And, you know, that's what it takes. I mean, this is just his 3rd major league start. Had 1 outing out of the bullpen.
Crack staff in the truck. As you see Kyle Kendrick lobbed out this volley in the break. That his windup and delivery a lot like the artist formerly known as Leo Nunez, now J.C. Oviedo,
whose shirt at times would come untucked as well.
And similar build, kind of a whippy motion, and then falls off to that first base side.
That's you know, our crack staff. I mean, it's just a great observation that they have made.
Just happy that the crack staff.
Crack staff's had a good time here in Denver.
I was just about to say, here in Colorado, just happy that they've shown up on time for the ball game. Swing and a miss. Kendrick strikes out. Jose Urena on a nice run. Another 1-2-3 inning. There's the delivery. Lead. South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for the Toronto Blue Jays, the Rogers Center. Brad Hand, Marco Estrada. Draft day coverage tomorrow. That's the topic for Craig Minervini and Carl Pavano.
And that would be spelled C-E-N-T-R-E, center.
That's right. Well, you were not a resident, but
Spent many of baseball season in Canada.
What was the term that they used? Did you have a green card? What was the?
No, I was just part-time.
Given a work visa or something
part-time.
like that?
Didn't need the work visa, just part-time.
As a player and as a broadcaster, your first...
I think I still hold the distinction of being the only person to play and broadcast for both Canadian teams, the Expos and the Blue Jays. I don't know what that's going to get me, but...
A loony. That's what it will get you. I can't wait. Toronto is such a great city. And Skydome or Rogers Center, whatever you call it, it's always fun to do a game there. Marcell Ozuna, Christian Yelich, and JT Realmuto. Kyle Kendrick with a slider. And Ozuna swings and misses. Kendrick has settled in after giving up the 4 hits in the first inning. Ozuna, big hop for Arenado, and he gets the out at first.
We sent our congratulations to Jim Morris and the Hurricanes. How about Kevin O'Sullivan and the Gators beating FSU 2 straight, and just an incredible run for J.J. Schwartz, youngster out of Palm Beach Gardens. Hit 2 more home runs last night in their win. 3 home runs in that series, that 2-game series against FSU.
A lot of attention in the state of Florida will be focused on Omaha this coming week. A strike to Yelich. A line drive hit to right back in the first. Now Yelich is one Marlin that has had success against Kyle Kendrick. Not a ton of at bats, but with his base hit, Yelich is now 7 for 16. That's over 400. And his on base is almost close to 500.
Well, his first base hit was a line shot, too. He was right on that ball.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Yelich. Realmuto around the bend. The Blue Jays, speaking of, won again today. That's 5 in a row. Jose Bautista hit 2 homers. Russell Martin homered, and they beat Houston 7-6.
Yeah, it's one of those you start looking at the opposition and how they're playing, and all of a sudden the Blue Jays are playing some really good baseball. We talked about Josh Donaldson last night. He's having a solid year. Bautista's hot all of a sudden.
LeMahieu gets Yelich. And a couple of outs. Our Toyota trend. JT Realmuto strolling to the plate. Rookie catchers triples Marlins all-time record. You see some of the Marlin catchers in their rookie years. And Realmuto has topped them all. 4 triples already. And on Marlins Live, some interesting comments from Dan Jennings, Mike Goff, Frank Menachino about JT Realmuto, very athletic catcher, a shortstop, and how that plays in the big leagues. A lot more athletic than a lot of catchers.
You touched on it, his first at bat. Getting to the big leagues as a young catcher is not easy. He's dealing with the rotation, and he's always had the reputation as being a hitting catcher, a guy who's going to hit. And that's going to come because he's working on all that other stuff to make sure the pitchers are on track. And you can see the hitting start to come.
Would you say for a rookie breaking into the big leagues and playing every day in the big leagues, the jump for a catcher is greater than any other position?
Without question. Without question.
What's next on the list? Shortstop?
probably. And we're eliminating pitchers in this. We're talking about position players.
Gonzalez is over, makes the catch. Kyle Kendrick has retired 10 straight, but Miami has a 2-0 lead.
See, I'm sitting in these purple seats. It indicates exactly where a mile above sea level is located. That's 5,280 feet. And hey, even though I'm this far up in the ballpark, you still get an incredible view of the field. But I think my favorite part about these seats, Rich and Tommy, whether there's rain, whether there's shine, I am undercover.
Now that's good with all the weather that you've had to endure and that these fans have had to endure over the first two games of this series. Sunshine right now, and this has turned into a nice little pitching matchup. Jose Urena and Kyle Kendrick.
Yeah, all of a sudden you mentioned Kendrick's retired 10 in a row. Urena's retired 8 in a row.
And he opens up the second time through the order with a strike to Charlie Blackmon. DJ LeMahieu, Troy Tulowitzki scheduled to appear in the bottom of the fourth. And Urena.
There's that good changeup. I think it's important this time around because you have a lot of experienced hitters in that Rockies lineup. So all of a sudden now they've seen the young right-hander, and you see if they adjust, if he makes some adjustments. And I don't think he used that changeup a lot the first 3 innings. So maybe he'll go to that a little bit more now.
Went to it there and he misses. Counts 1-2. By the way, in that Blue Jay win, they were down 6-5 in the 9th inning. And Chris Colabello had a 2-run single to walk off. So 5 in a row for the Blue Jays. Marlins get him tomorrow night in Toronto, and Blackmon rolls it into right for a base hit. This afternoon, foot of the Rocky Mountains, of course, we have a Coors Light cold fact. Last 10 days, Rockies and Marlins have been atop the charts. You see the National League average at 261.
Kind of knew the Pirates would be there.
And Atlanta has hung in there, so to speak.
How about the Atlanta Braves with Juan Uribe now as a member of the Braves?
How about the year that Cameron Maybin's having since coming over? Maybin's been a nice addition.
He's all of a sudden, remember when he came over, he wasn't playing every day. He's all of a sudden become their everyday center fielder. Cameron Maybin has his average up in the 280s, near 290. Coming into today, Maybin 3 hits today. He's at 296.
DJ LeMahieu.
However, Pittsburgh beat the Braves 3-0 because of Garrett Cole's outing.
Marlins know what that's about. They just saw Cole a week ago. It's good to hear that the fan, Tonya Carpenter, who was injured and had serious injuries by the broken bat in Boston, is recovering. I know everybody in baseball, players, fans, took note of that and are offering best wishes.
Yeah, we talked about Blackman over at first base. He's one guy who will certainly run. 28 stolen bases last year. And Charlie Blackman with 12 this year, 12 out of 16.
He's running and then stops. A liner to right. Stanton comes in, makes the catch. Blackman started, and then when Urena didn't go to the plate, he stopped. He's still at first. Tomorrow, don't miss Team USA's first game as they take on Australia on Fox Sports 1. The Women's World Cup. Games all week long on Fox, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2. And streams live on Fox Sports Go. Tulowitzki bounced into a double play. That was in the first. There's one out here. That one rolls to the infield and gets into left.
Well, Urena got the ground ball. He was trying to get another double play grounder out of Tulowitzki, but this time Tulo found the hole.
Carlos Gonzalez now. Avoiding the big inning in this ballpark is not easy for a pitcher. David Phelps couldn't avoid it in the first inning of yesterday's ball game. Jose Urena now with runners first and second, trying to get another ground ball off the bat of Carlos Gonzalez. He bounced to second in his only at bat.
And the first jam that Urena has gotten himself in.
Nationals and Cubs finishing that series off in D.C. 2-2. Top four. Mets are in Arizona and leading 3-2. That's also in the top of the fourth. That's a Cole Mentor-DeGrom matchup. Here, Miami and Colorado both have a chance to win this series. Marlins had game one on Friday. Rockies winning yesterday. Jose Urena has gone 3-0 on a dangerous hitter, Carlos Gonzalez.
You would expect Gonzalez would have the green light. He's been around long enough that he knows if it's not his pitch, he'll take it.
3-run homer yesterday for Gonzalez. He was the last hitter that David Phelps saw. 3-1 for a guy that has a lot of hardware. Two-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves. It's a strike.
Came back with that nice changeup. When you see upper 80s, Urena's fastball's 94, 95. He gets 88, 89, 87 sometimes. That's usually that changeup he throws.
And a good call by the home plate umpire, Mike DeMiro. It had plenty of the plate. So the count's full. Let's see if Walt Weiss puts things in motion. You got speed at second. Not running. It's fouled back.
And then came back with that good fastball.
Real Muto out with a hand on the back of Urena.
A couple of young guys. That's a good scene.
Carlos Gonzalez has had some spurts of being hot. He really hasn't had the extra base hits, the home runs, the slugging percentage he's used to. That one missed.
Yeah, I saw that scene with JT Realmuto out there talking with Urania. Just missed. But a couple of guys who certainly are familiar with each other. They were in Jacksonville together all year, last year.
Remember the reaction by Urania on a pitch that was way out of the strike zone that he thought was a strike, and the lecture he got from Chuck Hernandez. That pitch was a lot closer, but it was still a ball. But he did not react the same. Trying to keep his poise with the bags loaded and Arenado up. To left, he didn't get it all. Yelich makes the catch, runners tag, and scoring from third is Blackmon. The Rockies are on the board.
Not sure how many times in this 3-game series, but Arenado, we talked about, has been so aggressive. He loves to go after that first pitch. We've seen him do it a lot in this series.
That leaves Willian Rosario with 2 outs. If the Rockies can get any kind of pitching, then they have a chance to right things out, because offensively, you look up and down this lineup, there aren't really a whole lot of easy outs. I mean, even Hundley and Barnes, who aren't known for their offense, have averages over 300. Prado cuts it off. Short way, gets the out. Gordon hops out of the way. And the inning is done. Urania avoids the big inning. He does give up 1, but he doesn't give up the lead. Authentic Philly cheesesteak. Try the new meatball sub. Pick yours. Denver today, bright, warm sunshine. Got a Dolphins cap. We're seeing a lot of Marlins gear as well. Both pitchers have settled in. Kyle Kendrick, a 19-pitch first inning. Miami had 4 hits and 2 runs in that inning. And as we've talked about, he's retired the last 10 that he's faced.
Yeah, you can see him all of a sudden moving the ball around well, keeping it down, and that's a key for him.
And Denny Echeverria hit it hard his first time, huh? He lined to center. Urania and then D. Gordon. One of the reasons the Rockies, as Echeverria fouled that bunt off, went after Kyle Kendrick and signed him. They were looking for a guy that a veteran guy that could manage games in this ballpark, in this environment. And that is, if you give up a couple of runs, figure out a way to settle down and get through it without giving up 6, 7, or 8. It's popped up down the line. LeMahieu and Rosario. It's Rosario who makes the catch.
Well, Kendrick kind of knew that feeling managing games in Philadelphia, pitching at Citizens Bank Park.
Think about that. Think of where this guy has pitched his whole major league career. Great Hitters Park, short fences in Philly, and now Coors Field.
Well, the amazing thing about his career, he's 76 and 75. But if you take away his 14-3 against the Marlins, he's well under 500. He's 10 games under 500.
Urena. So he owes a lot to the Marlins for being so generous. 14-3, the only pitcher active with more wins at Miami's expense. Pitches for the San Francisco Giants. Tim Hudson. 15.
All those games when he was a Brave.
That's right. Not a bad idea by Urena. Arenado deep.
Well, there were some well-pitched games in baseball last night. Clayton Kershaw's back on track. He won his game against St. Louis, had 11 strikeouts, 8 innings.
Urena strikes out for the second time. There are 2 outs. D. Gordon's coming up. One of the great promos and promotions at the ballpark is the Play Catch with Dad event. And it's after the Marlins game on Sunday against the Rockies. The game's at 1:10. You can treat Dad to the ultimate Father's Day gift. Proceeds benefit the Marlins RBI scholarship program. Time's running out and space is limited, so you need to make a reservation. Go to marlins.com/playcatch, and you can play catch with Dad on the field after the ball game.
Yeah, the 14 wins against the Marlins, tied for 5th all time. Tied for 5th with Livan Hernandez. And Rich, the all-time winner against the Marlins, Greg Maddux, 19.
Gordon up the middle. Another hit for D. Gordon. He's 2 for 3 in this ball game.
I love the way in watching him this year. I mean, we just got flashes of Flash Jr. last year as a Dodger. He had that big series in Miami. But you don't get to see him day in and day out. The reason he's done what he's done to this point, he uses the entire field. We see him get base hits into left field. Today he's right field, up the middle.
And we talked about the philosophy shift for Gordon going from the Dodgers here. The Dodgers wanted him to pound the ball on the ground constantly. And when he arrived with Miami, it wasn't, hey, you can hit the ball in the air. And you don't see him hit a lot of fly balls, but you do see him hit a lot of line drives, especially balls in the gap. Kendrick is not easy to steal against. Martin Prado 1 for 2. There goes the runner. Pitch out. Hundley's throw. And he is. Whoa! Overshot the runway. He had the bag stolen. And Tulowitzki applies the tag. And the Marlins done in the 5th.
jump. There was a close play, out or safe. I think he would have been called safe, but we don't want to do that when we land in Toronto tonight. Overshoot the runway.
Here's the slow-mo. There's the tag before the hand gets down.
So he did get him.
But, I mean, just look at the contrast there, how fast that play was. Not only Gordon, but also the catch and the tag. For a guy at second like Phil Cuzzy.
Now, we've seen D a lot this year, feet first with the slides, because he had a problem with that last year, overshooting the bag.
Yeah, he needs like a grappling hook extension on his belt that he can.
But every once in a while, he reverts back to that.
Grab hold of the bag and just stop it. So it's 2-1 ball game, halfway through here in Colorado. Nick Hundley, Brandon Barnes, and then Kyle Kendrick. Bottom third of the order. Jose Urena gave up a run in the fourth. Nolan Arenado knocked it in with a sacrifice fly. It's funny, you look in the division, the pitchers that traditionally had hurt the Marlins. That liner down the right field line is turning foul. And a couple guys who just had massive numbers against the Marlins have changed teams. The Marlins won't see one of those guys, and that's Tyler Clippard, who's pitching for Oakland. Although you never know, Oakland may flip him for prospects or whatever they might do. Clippard is 0-3, got the loss today in Boston with a 3.33 ERA. And then you've got Kyle Kendrick here, 14-3 against Miami. He's pitching now for Colorado. In the hole, Echeverria, long throw, and he makes it. Nice play by Adeiny Echeverria.
Well, when you're a shortstop, you go in that hole like that, you're happy that the catcher's running. Yeah, just enough time to make this play. Not an easy play. Sets himself because he knows he needs to get a whole lot on that throw, and got enough on it in time. Really nice.
His back foot slipped when he planted, and he still got a lot on the throw. He's having an outstanding year at shortstop.
It's a tough year. There are a lot of good shortstops this year. Obviously, you talk about defensively, Andrelton Simmons, Johnny Peralta with the Cardinals having a good offensive year. Brandon Crawford with the Giants, defense and offense. So it's a tough year, but you got to keep voting. And keep voting for Echeverria. Certainly for D. Gordon and Stanton in that All-Star game. Starlin Castro has been an All-Star numerous times.
Joey Bats, who has been an All-Star 5 consecutive years. And the Blue Jays await the Marlins tomorrow night, 6:30. Brandon Barnes swings and misses. It's, to me, one of the best parts of interleague play is getting a chance to see a team like the Blue Jays. You see the highlights with all the long home runs, Batista.
Encarnacion. Russell Martin's been a nice sign for them.
The Marlins get to see Mark Burley. Heron and Burley on Tuesday night. And it's a international version of email and Twitter.
It's a bad night to have email Twitter Tuesday with those two guys.
Exactly. Now, if we were
the international version.
Yeah, if we were having the fantasy auction, we would move it to another date.
If those two guys were the matchup, yeah.
Although it was what was it, Heron and Lester, and that worked out. We were a little anxious about that, but it worked out just fine. Here's the 3-2. And missed. And Barnes is aboard. Pitch 7 was that last pitch. I think it's notable, though, Urena didn't offer any demonstrative displeasure to Mike DeMuro. There's a bunt. Got to it early. Got it out there. Echeverria steps around and turns a double
How do you
play.
do that?
Wow. Adeiny Hechavarria was all tied up just in making the catch and somehow extracted himself and got the double play. Wow. Teammates and tell him how you did it.
That's how you do it. That's how you throw off the wrong foot, get enough on it. But it all started with a good feed from Urania, who made a good throw, did a good job getting that bunt that was a little hard, and then turning and getting the throw to Hechavarria. How about the entire inning for Adeiny Hechavarria? First of all, he had to go into the hole, slipped a little bit as he planted to throw out Nick Hundley. Watch his back foot. Right there, gives way. Still got a lot on the throw. Then here comes the throw from Urania. Okay, get the left foot out of the way. On 1 foot, he threw the ball to first base in plenty of time. Great job.
And so what I think both sides thought would be a relatively high-scoring ball game arrives here in the 6th at just 2-1. Jose Urania has been sharp, and after giving up 2 runs in the first, Kyle Kendrick settled back into being the Kyle Kendrick that the Marlins remember. Martin Prado, Giancarlo Stanton, Justin Bour. It's the 3rd time through for that trio against the 30-year-old former high school quarterback, offered a scholarship to quarterback the Washington State Cougars. Mike Leach, the coach there now. That one is into the seats, and the count's 0-1. Prado single in the first, a 9-game hit streak.
Yeah, you talked about it. Prado came into the game with pretty good numbers against Kendrick.
Knocks another one that way.
I would say one of the reasons why is just because Prado, there is numbers against Kyle Kendrick, is his approach. You know, Kendrick wants you to pull the ball, and Prado just doesn't do that. He'll try to take a lot of pitches the other way.
Well, the 2 teams that the Marlins are lining up to play in the American League East are really hot right now. They've won a combined 11 games in a row. The Blue Jays walk-off win. Chris Colabello with that hit in Toronto gives Toronto 5 in a row, and the Yankees beat the Angels again. The Yankees have won 6 straight. CC Sabathia getting the win. Tulowitzki gets the out. On Thursday, June 18th, an American tradition comes to Fox and Fox Sports 1. For the first time, the greatest golfers in the world converge on the Pacific Northwest. Exclusive coverage of the 115th U.S. Open Championship begins June 18th on Fox Sports 1, Fox, and streams live on Fox Sports Go. Here's Stanton now. He has struck out and popped out. Kendrick misses in. Stanton going with the shades. Trying to cut some of the glare on a bright day in Denver. For whatever reason, Stanton and Kendrick don't mix. 3 for 28. Pulls that one to Arenado at third.
Yeah, and you're getting the mix of lots of ground balls that Kendrick is getting.
Here comes Justin Bour. It's amazing, since the Marlins got their 2 runs in the first inning, Kendrick has set down 14 of the next 15 hitters. Gordon single in the 5th, the only base runner.
This is a Kyle Kendrick that the Rockies haven't seen this year. Came into the game a 2-7 record and an ERA of 6.55. He came into this game 0-3 at home with an ERA just a tad below 8.
His best start was opening night. As you see Urena, Miami's dugout. Kendrick was the opening night starter in Milwaukee. He went 7 shutout innings. And the Rockies scored 10 times and beat the Brewers. Shift on for Bour again. He pulled the ball that was in off the plate into that shift in the 3rd.
That's a changeup that he uses a little bit more to left-handed hitters.
One misses, and Bour takes the walk. It's something the Marlins this year, a young aggressive team, are still trying to figure out how to do it, and that's take a walk. Brings Ozuna up, 2-run single, and he's bounced to 3rd. LeMahieu to Tulowitzki. And Miami done in the 6th. Kyle Kendrick, Jose Urena dueling, and Jessica Blaylock is headed to the Mile High Rooftop Bar.
eat. There's games like cornhole. There's also cabanas. And hey, the best part about this location, you still get that perfect view of the ball game. Actually, I think I'm going to ask my new friends if I can hang out here for a few innings and watch the game. Guys, you mind if I squeeze in?
Oh, please.
Take in the rest of the game?
Very nice. That's a great view from up there. This is one of the larger capacity ballparks in baseball. Mile high rooftop bar. There's a few other restaurants up there. They have great concerts up there before the ball games on weekends.
Had a nice one yesterday. Good food at this ballpark.
Yes, Charlie Blackmon, the top of the order for the Rockies. In the bottom of the 6th, DJ LeMahieu, Troy Tulowitzki, a dangerous spot in Colorado's order. Jose Urena through 5. On a hop, Gordon has it, gets the out. So 1 out in the 6th. The Rockies and the Marlins next week, a 4-gamer. And it starts on Thursday, and on Friday night, it's the Corona Light Summer Beach Bash. Purchase the Summer Beach Bash package at marlins.com/special events. Get a ticket, pair of Marlins sandals, and activities throughout the ball game. Enjoy a post-game fireworks show presented by Waste Management.
So you think about it, a 10-game period, the Marlins and Rockies play 7 times.
LeMahieu is singled and lined to right. Sends that one out of play. Today, Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead day. Urena misses.
That's a good looking bobblehead.
It is. Do big things.
He was trying to do some big things with that high fastball.
Dials up 96 miles an hour. And there are 2 outs here in the 6th.
Boy, still with some zip on his fastball. Really been a nice assortment of fastballs, sliders, and changeups from Urena today.
This is the guy that we've read about and heard about through all the reports, both last year in Jacksonville when he was 13-8 with an ERA in the low 3s, and then this year 6 starts in a Pacific Coast League leading 1.21 ERA.
23 years old, and we talked about his battery mate with JT Realmuto in Double-A last year.
You hope certainly that Urena keeps developing, can be part of this rotation. He's just 23. You've got Justin Nicolino, who is having a really nice year, and many feel is on the verge of being ready to pitch in the big leagues as well. Prado gets the out. 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. No worries for Jose Urena. Miami a 2-1 lead. In Denver, the Marlins and the Rockies in a good ball game here. A pitcher's duel between Jose Urena and Kyle Kendrick. And look at the sun. There are some clouds, but no rain, and that's a good thing. Jessica Blaylock's been all over the ballpark today. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, Christian Yelich. And Kendrick misses up. Yelich, Real Muto, and Adeiny Echeverria. Kyle Kendrick has been really good since the Marlins got their 2 runs in the first. And Yelich lifts it in the air to center. Blackman makes the catch. Time for our Geico Marlins moment. Cody Ross on this date, 2008. A 3-run walk-off home run against his former team. He was a Red for a short time. There's Jake.
Yeah, Jake and Cody.
That was an 8-7 win over the Reds.
Talked the other night about that incredible series Cody Ross had here at Coors Field. 4 games, he had 12 hits. He had 3 hits every game.
Into center. I believe, Tommy Hutton, that was known as the cowbell game and the cowbell home run.
Much better known than Vuvuzela night.
Yeah, that one is in its own infamous category. So Yelich and Real Muto, a couple fly balls to center field. Here is Echeverria. Ichiro is on deck. So Echeverria trying to get aboard. Miami's bullpen is ready. There's that routine that Ichiro has on deck. Unlike anybody in the big leagues. Ball and a strike. Echeverria's lined out, popped out. Urena still in the dugout. His coat on.
Yeah, I think even if Echeverria makes the last out, you saw the handshake there by Chuck Hernandez. The 6 really good innings, that's going to be it for Jose Urena.
Echeverria swings and misses, and he strikes out. Kyle Kendrick continues to baffle the fish since they got those 2 early runs. Chuck Hernandez talking to Urena. Marlins headed to their bullpen, and we're headed to the 7th inning stretch. 2-1 Miami in Denver.
had a chance to talk to him. You know he's going to go through that process and be ready when he's called for his first time out in the big leagues this year. Carter Capps takes the mound, so he's the go-to guy for Dan Jennings here in the 7th inning.
You know, it's interesting too, as you get to the last game of a 3-game set in Colorado. Oftentimes managers find they have used their bullpen and used them a lot, but there are some guys out there who haven't worked in this series, and Capps is one of them, and he dials up 99 on his first pitch for a strike. And Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado, Willeen Rosario.
You know, when you watch Capps, and that slider there is just nasty against lefties and righties. First of all, he can throw 100 miles an hour. He has that good slider, and he also has that unique, unusual delivery. Got a little herky-jerkiness to it, a little pause. So he cannot be easy to face.
And if you followed Capps and his story this year, you know that when he went down to the minor leagues for 2 weeks, he worked on dragging that back foot just like that. And Major League Baseball wanted to make sure that Capps had some sort of a drag. You can disengage from the rubber on your way to home plate, and every pitcher does it. The Capps, like Jordan Walden of the Cardinals, has such a violent hop before he delivers that it's really pronounced. Whereas if you watch some starters in slow motion, by the time they deliver, they're as far away from the rubber as Capps is.
The other comparison you always like to make is Tim Lincecum.
That's what it looks like, sort of, from home plate. That's a little squibber, and it's going to be a foul ball. With the shift on against Carlos Gonzalez, Miami didn't have a man playing over there.
I'm going to assume this, but that's always not a good idea. We'll check on this with Carter in Toronto. If he always pitched like that when he was in high school, did he always have that same delivery? If he did, he went through a ton of right shoes, toe plates.
It would be problematic if he were shooting free throws, right? That went back to the screen.
But okay if he were in the hop, skip, and a jump contest in the Olympics.
Right. Triple jump.
Triple jump, yeah. Years ago, it used to be hop, skip, and a jump.
You know, that's a game-used jersey right there, isn't it?
Let's see, got a little shake on there.
Grape juice.
Grape juice.
Game used. They should authenticate that and auction it off. Gonzalez went and got the slider. Back goes Stanton. Won't get. It's gone. Just got out. And this game is tied. Carlos Gonzalez, his second homer in 2 games. Man, did that ball just keep traveling.
And you look back at it, it was a pretty good pitch, too, from Carter Capps. It was that slider. It was down. Gonzalez went down after it. For a moment, it looked like Stanton might have a play. Then it looked like he was going to turn and play it off the fence, and it got out of here.
Home run number 6. And Capps misses with a fastball. And so the opportunity for Jose Urena to win his first ball game disappears. Pitch number 8 on that sequence. As you pointed out, not a bad location. Counts 2-0.
You know, sometimes you just have to say he hit a good pitch. So a no decision for Jose Urena.
And now a 3-0 count against Nolan Arenado. Arenado doesn't get to too many 3-0 counts. And he walks. And Caps may be a bit unnerved by the home run by Gonzalez. He walks Arenado. Here is Rosario. Chuck Hernandez on his way out to the mound.
You can tell, just you don't know 100%, but with Gonzalez hitting that really good pitch that kind of unnerved Carter Capps, not able to throw a strike to Arenado.
Well, Rosario has power. He homered twice yesterday. Rocky fans making some noise. Miami got 2 runs in the first. The Rockies have finally tied it here in the bottom of the 7th. Get me over slider. Cubs and the Nationals finishing up this weekend series, and the Cubs have a 6-3 lead in the bottom of the 6th. Chris Coghlan has doubled and driven in 2. Starlin Castro has driven in 2, and a guy that we didn't see, Chris Denorfia, has 2 hits for the Cubs. Ian Desmond, pride of Sarasota, has homered for Washington. Just 5 innings from Jordan Zimmerman. Gave up 4 runs on 10 hits. And Kyle Hendricks is pitching for the Cubs. How's that for symmetry? Hendricks has given up 2 earned runs. Kyle Kendrick is pitching here for the Rockies, and he's given up 2 earned runs. Where's Rod Serling when you need him?
Yeah, you just don't get this stuff everywhere.
Here in Colorado, chance to win a series for both of these teams. Carter Capps on in relief of Jose Urena, and Miami has to be quite pleased with the job Urena turned in. 6 innings, a run, 3 hits.
Oh, without question. It's his best outing by far.
Slider, and Rosario took it in. You've got 2 really aggressive hitters in Rosario and Arenado. Arenado walked on 4 pitches. And now Rosario's deep in this count, 3-2.
See how Walt Weiss plays this if he has Arenado on the move.
Not running, and Capps hits Rosario with a 3-2 pitch. And I think that home run that Carlos Gonzalez hit has unnerved Carter Capps.
Well, I tell you what, last thing you're expecting if you're Rosario on a 3-2 pitch to have a pitch miss that badly. Still nobody out.
He has an elbow pad, and so I don't think that pitch did.
Kind of sounded like it hit on that pad.
It did, a glancing blow on the elbow pad. And so Rosario is at first, pushes Arenado to second, and here is Hundley. And this is a great example of what pitching coaches, managers preach about Coors Field. Manage the inning. Don't let a small inning where they get a run turn into a big one. Hundley shortened a bunt. Capps spinning towards second.
Well, Capps did that purposely to see if Hundley would tip his hand. He did. Doesn't necessarily mean he'll be bunting all the way. Had a quick chat with Stu Cole, third base coach.
Mike Dunn in Miami's pen is ready. Hundley squares, sets it down. Capps has it, turns, goes to third. Safe. Martin Prado signals immediately to look at it. It was a bang-bang play. Capps spun and threw. Prado had stretched. And we'll get our first look at it. The Marlins video room certainly is watching as well.
Capps probably had some help. I'm a little surprised he went to third because the bunt was over on the first base side.
It sounded like Real Muto was actually calling for second.
See if we can pick it up.
And the Marlins are going to challenge. It's obviously a big call in a 2-2 game. Mike Goff, Miami's bench coach, talking to the video room. We haven't seen a super slow-mo yet. And obviously that would be the best look. They do have that at times in different spots here in Colorado. And we'll try to hunt and find the best look that we can get.
The more we listened to that, it sounded as if JT Real Muto was saying 2-2-2.
Here's a look. Back of glove. Wow, that's close. That is close. Is it enough to overturn?
Close, but I think certainly worth a challenge at this point of the game.
Amen. Because you're into the seventh inning, and the umpires can now challenge at their discretion. My question is, was Arenado's foot on the bag? You could see the foot come down on the bag. Did his heel hit the bag and then the foot come down before back of glove? And again, the call at third base is safe. That's significant. Watch the foot come down. Does the heel hit and then it drop? Boy, I don't know. He's out. That's a big challenge.
Boy, that's a big challenge and a big call.
Pat Shine, who is Miami's video coach, he's on the coaching staff. He is maybe the best in the business, folks. Last year, he led the National League in challenges, successful ones, and that's a big one. And so the Marlins get that out, and Capps now with runners first and second faces Brandon Barnes.
Boy, absolutely huge. First and second with one out as opposed to bases loaded and nobody out. See if that gets Carter Capps turned around.
Still only one out. And Capps throws a strike.
Well, it appears he has gotten back on track. Good slider for strike one. 98 on the fastball for strike two.
Marlins keep their challenge. Rockies have not used theirs. Rosario back to second. Hundley the runner at first. Got two catchers out there on the base paths.
Yeah, Rosario probably a little better speed than Hundley.
That was just a rumor. 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and Barnes was late on it. And that's what the slider, when he's able to throw the slider for strikes, you get swings like that.
I'll tell you what, sliders like that for strikes, and then that fastball to strike him out. But also, remember the 3-2 pitch that hit Rosario. That'll get you thinking as a right-handed hitter as well. Rafael Inoa going to pinch hit, so I'm getting a base hit yesterday in a pinch hitting role.
So both pitchers exit. For Jose Urena, it was 6 innings. For Kyle Kendrick, 7 innings. Just 5 hits and 2 runs for Kendrick, who can still get the win if the Rockies were to score here and hold that lead. And it's Caps against Inoa.
Yeah, 82 pitches for Urena and just 80 for Kendricks and Kendrick in his 7 innings. Not sure how many Kendricks threw today.
Of the Cubs? He's thrown 84.
Okay, thank you.
And he lasted just 5 innings. They've gone to their bullpen. 0-1. Ball to strike. Big challenge at third. Marlins got that out. Caps striking out Barnes. Not a lot of at bats for either team with runners in scoring position. The off-speed pitch again. It's 1-2. Martin Prado. It's one of the times where the player was right. Prado signaling for the challenge. I think the percentage of the player being wrong is a lot higher when that player is going for a hit at first base in a bang-bang.
It's a subliminal thing.
Or going for a stolen base, right?
Yeah.
They're more likely to just say, yeah, please challenge. Let me take a shot at it. Pitch in the dirt, no swing. Because it's like you're getting a second shot at a hit. Noah calls time. Real Muto on his way to the mound. 2-2 ball game. Bottom 7. Was that 2-run hit by Marcelo Zuna in the first. All the scoring for Miami. Here in the 7th, Carlos Gonzalez going down and getting a pitch that was low and away, and drilling it out to right has tied the game. Caps at 99, but missing. And it's 3-2. You got Charlie Blackmon on deck, and if Caps doesn't get Inoa, you get a sense that it might be Mike Dunn that comes into this game for Blackmon. Runners go, and it's lined into the seats. A lot of work this inning for Caps. 28 pitches already. He's walked a man. He's hit a man.
Made a nice play coming off the mound.
Needed a challenge to get that out.
Had to wait a little while for the challenge. So, yeah, he's been out there a while.
Both Rosario and Hundley will be moving.
Not sure why he keeps doing that. because you've got Rosario. Yeah, he's going to be moving. It's 3-2 and 2 out. But that's the third or fourth time he's done that move. Not sure why.
Because he knew Enoa was going to foul another pitch off into the same spot where he fouled the other one off.
Now, the one time he did it made sense to see if Hundley was tipping his hand as far as a bunt.
Count full. Eighth pitch of the at-bat. A bouncer wide of first. Caught there by E.Y. Sr.
Yeah, we saw E.Y. Jr. not too long ago. So Dad still going strong, first base coach with the Rockies.
He's had a nice career here, both as a player and as a coach.
Very popular player and coach here.
Boy, he could run just like his son. He was one of those guys that if he gets to first, he's on second. Another 3-2. He got him. Breaking ball. Caps strikes him out. Enoa goes down. 2-2 after 7. Headed to the 8th in Denver.
When you come here and you order a Blue Moon beer, you know it is going to be fresh. They do not mass produce their beer. They only make small quantities. So you take a look at this Blue Moon over here and you know that is going to be a good beer.
That looks like a good beer.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, Jess sends certain things to the booth, food items, every once in a while.
Why not beers?
Boy, that looked good.
See, that was back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. That was common. Scott Oberg into the ball game. I mean, Harry Carey back in the...
it wouldn't have held Harry Carey back.
There's a reason Jack Brickhouse used to say, hey, hey. Oberg in, Ichiro up. 8th inning, 2-2. And a fastball is high. Ichiro pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. That's where Carter Capps resided in the order. Got D. Gordon, Martin Prado to follow.
As we mentioned before, going into Toronto, where the Marlins will be able to use the DH, we'll see Ichiro. The plan is to have Ichiro in every game, if not as the DH, probably in the outfield a couple of times.
Ichiro pounds a 2-0 pitch into the dirt.
So it's Marco Estrada for the Blue Jays in the first game of the series against Brad Hand and Dan Herron and Burley. We've talked about that. Aaron Sanchez, a righty, against Tom Kohler.
Oberg is from Tewksbury, Massachusetts. Grounded at third, and Ichiro is out. And up comes D. Gordon. Tewksbury, Massachusetts. Oberg pitched at UConn, was an all Big East selection.
Been his favorite major league pitcher, without a doubt, Bob Tewksbury.
35,139 in the place. I don't think they named the town after him, but that's still pretty cool. Breaking ball, a strike. D. Gordon in this ball game is 2 for 3.
And the Marlins have but one hit since the first inning.
And that was the work of Kyle Kendrick, who gave up 4 hits in that first inning, 5 total through 7, giving up 2 runs. He lived up to the fish killer billing.
Yeah, he did. And that one hit, by the way, a 5th inning single by D. Gordon.
Close and late. It's close and it's late. Pitch caught some of the plate, it looked like. 2-1. And that's in, and it's 3-1. Gordon doesn't walk a lot, and one of the reasons why pitchers pound the zone. He's a contact guy.
He's going to get fastballs.
Just 10 walks. And he smacks that one into left field. A base hit. And especially in that part of the count, Hut, when you see Gordon go 2-1 or 3-1, pitchers realize, I don't want this guy on first base. Here's a fastball. He's feasted on that this year. 3 for 4.
It's his 10th 3-hit game this year. And think about his base hits. Right center, up the middle, that one into left field.
Here's Prado now. Gordon certainly a threat to run. You were with us earlier. He had a base stolen in the 5th. Well, it appeared so, and then slid by it. The second base umpire, Phil Cuzzy, did not call him out until he overslid the bag and was tagged out by Tulowitzki. A super slow replay. It appeared the glove did beat Gordon, but the play never got that far once he left the bag. He was out. And it goes as a caught stealing. You don't get the bag if you touch it and then slide over it. You got to complete the theft. Prado's bouncer cut off by Arenado. The turn is in time, and the Rockies get a double play. Miami's 8th is over after another hit from Gordon. 2-2 in Colorado. Rockies. Mike Dunn into the fray for Miami. Takes over for Carter Capps. Capps worked a adventurous inning, but a scoreless one. Oh, excuse me. It was a little more adventurous than being scoreless. I had picked it up after the Gonzalez homer to lead off the 7th. When Capps escaped a first and second and nobody out spot to keep the Rockies off the board after Cargo tied it. Ended up striking out Noah to end the inning. Charlie Blackmon, top of the order. DJ LeMahieu, Troy Tulowitzki. Jose Urena for 6, Capps for 1, and now Mike Dunn.
First appearance for Mike Dunn in this series. Last time Mike pitched a third of an inning against the Cubs, last game of that Marlins Cup series.
If you hung in for yesterday's ball game, the Rockies had a big lead most of the way after a long rain delay. You remember that Brian Morris came out of the game with a lower back strain. The Marlins will reevaluate him tomorrow and hope that everything is feeling better. Sam Dyson's another guy that hasn't worked. As I noted, it's strange to get to the end of a 3-game series. Blackmon lifts it left field. Yelich back at the track, and he makes the catch. You just don't know here, do you? When a ball like that goes and you watch the outfielder and it keeps going and going.
We've seen so many balls carry. We thought the same thing on the one Carlos Gonzalez hit. Wasn't sure if that was going to get out, and it did. So anything hit in the air that's hit fairly well has a chance. But Christian Yelich gets on the track, puts his hand back. He was a foot or two away from the wall.
There's LeMahieu now.
Yeah, in the bullpen respect, the Marlins are in pretty good shape in this game.
Which is good news today and should be good news for the Toronto series. And that's a ballpark that can chew up your bullpen pretty good, too.
And talked a little bit to Martin Prado before the game about this road trip. A couple of good ballparks to hit in, because he certainly knows Rogers Center as well.
One and two. Lots of games have gone final. There are 4 games still going in baseball, and 1 to be played tonight. St. Louis in Los Angeles. The Cardinals will tangle with Zach Greinke.
Then the Cardinals come here.
Chris Archer pitching well again in Seattle, and the Rays have a 3-1 lead in the 9th inning.
Boy, he's pitched some good games.
Good high fastball by Dunn, and LeMahieu strikes out.
Good stuff by Mike Dunn to get it by a good hitter.
Good stuff coming up on the Checkers postgame show. Jessica Blaylock live on the field. Jose Urena's third start, a real good one. Brad Hand gets ready to face the Blue Jays. On his bobblehead day, Troy Tulowitzki has been warmly greeted. Tulowitzki is 1 for 3, 4 for 7 in this series.
Talking about Chris Archer, one of those good games was against the Marlins early in the year. 7 innings, gave up just 1 hit and no runs.
7 innings, 1 run, 7 hits, 11 strikeouts.
Wow.
No walks. See your American League starter. I know King Felix has had a great run.
Yeah, King Felix bounced back from a poor outing against the Yankees, but he won last night. Beat Tampa Bay 2-1. Went 7, gave up just 1 run and 2 hits. I'd still go with King Felix.
Two and one.
Who's the National League starter right now?
Max Scherzer, Garrett Cole, Michael Wacha. There's a lot of guys to choose from. Tulowitzki, left center. And it's up against the wall. Ozuna has it. And a double, a two-out double by Troy Tulowitzki. His 17th double of the season.
Well, again, you hold your breath a little. That's one of the deepest parts here at Coors Field. Looked like the slider that stayed up a little bit. Tulowitzki with a solid swing. But it stays in the ballpark. It's good news.
Another tough out. It's Carlos Gonzalez, who has had a really nice series. He's 5 for 10, 2 homers, driven in 4. He homered in the 7th. And that low slider by Carter Capps, he hooked it, pulled it to right center on a line, and it got into the Rockies bullpen. In case you missed it, watch where the location is.
You saw how he reached for it. It was actually a little bit out of the strike zone and down.
Counts 1-0. Good fastball, 96 for Mike Dunn.
Carlos Gonzalez has always done a pretty good job against lefties and righties. A career 300 hitter against right-handers, 272 against lefties.
Foul back to the screen. You pointed out that the Marlins are probably going to get another shot at Chris Russin, the lefty. They're probably going to get another shot at Kyle Kendrick.
Probably see him the next night.
Who has kind of put a little more polish on that career ERA against the Marlins. I think Giancarlo Stanton's going to be anxious to see Russin again.
Kept him in check, both Kendrick and Russell.
One-two coming. Just popped out of the glove of Realmuto on a foul tip.
Good fastball.
1-2 again. Busted his bat. Prado goes to get it. Toss across the diamond in time to get the out. And Mike Dunn works a scoreless 8th. 9th inning coming up. 2-2 game. Giancarlo is coming up. The Marlins and the Rockies all tied up. rewind. Let's go back to 2012. Giancarlo Stanton. This is the longest home run of his career. It went past Todd Helton's Burger Shack and ended up in the parking lot. 494 feet. Became the first player ever to homer in the first 6 games in a ballpark. That's an amazing feat just looking at that distance. Jess, you've got more?
Well, a funny story about that home run ball. A Rockies employee actually ended up finding it. Giancarlo volunteered to sign it, and they gave it away at an employee function. So, guys, I guess no matter what team you work for, an autographed home run ball from Giancarlo Stanton is a pretty cool souvenir.
Yes, it is. Stanton is up. He'll lead it off here in the 9th. Justin Bour, Marcell Ozuna, and John Axford.
Boy, he's putting together a solid season, 10 out of 10 in save opportunities, minuscule ERA. He had to save 46 games for the Brewers back in 2011.
Big overhand curveball. This is away to Stanton. He struck out, popped out, bounced out. All the at-bats against Kyle Kendrick. Fastball for a strike at 96. Axford, really an interesting guy. Played at Notre Dame. He's Canadian. Was a film and television major.
A Renaissance type closer.
Yes, with a Renaissance beard that would fit at any Renaissance fair.
You notice that high fastball appears even faster because of that slow curveball that he uses.
Fastball up and in. Axford had Tommy John surgery at Notre Dame. You saw he was a free agent. Was a closer to start last year in Cleveland and was waived in August, picked up by Pittsburgh. Stand a little chopper over the middle. LeMahieu was waiting for it, and he gets the out. And that'll bring up Justin Bour.
Tough series for Giancarlo here at Coors, which is usually not the case. Stanton with the home run the first game of the series. Doubled last night in a 1-for-5 night, but had the 4 strikeouts. And an 0-for-4 today.
Axford known for a lot of things. Success on the diamond, success in the postseason. And he's very good at predicting the Oscars. He had a perfect Oscar scorecard back in 2014. He went 24 for 24.
I've heard him interview about that. They're going to be bringing him out on the red carpet pretty soon.
Yeah, this year he went 17 for 24. Bour off the end of the bat and a weird spin. Tulowitzki collects and gets him. Excuse me. That was Arenado coming from the shortstop spot. Here is Ozuna. So the Rockies bringing their closer in to pitch the top of the 9th. AJ Ramos is getting loose just in case, though the Marlins have 2 outs and nobody on. It was a rough year for Axford last year. His ERA last year was 5.5. His ERA in 2013 was 1.74. He would go on after graduating from Notre Dame and get a master's from Canisius. It's 2-0.
See how he likes to work, though. He uses that fastball and keeps it up in the zone. Was that master's in filmography?
Oh, he'd already done that at Notre Dame.
Okay.
I believe it was business administration at that time. But I think when it comes to movie reviews, miniseries reviews, he's the go-to guy.
Got a call there.
3-1. Yelich is on deck.
That was just power against power. Good fastball, good hard swing by Ozuna.
Count 3-2. See if he gets power again. Lifted out of play. And we'll do it again. Ozuna hits it out to DJ LeMahieu, and John Axford gets 3 ground ball outs. Bottom of the 9th in Colorado. Still 2-2. Whoa. .com. Rocky Mountains Majesty in Denver. 2-2. Marlins and Rockies. Sam Dyson into the game for the Fish. The Rockies always so good at home. Last year, as an example, 96 losses, but they were 45-36 at home. Sam Dyson is in, and Dyson arrives with Nolan Arenado, Willian Rosario, and Nick Hundley all lined up. 6 innings for Jose Urena, gave up a run. Carter Capps gave up a home run to Carlos Gonzalez in his inning. Mike Dunn gave up a hit but worked a scoreless 8th. That one fouled back and out of play. 2 o'clock local time start. And the games around baseball, most of them have come to a close. We talked about tonight, Cardinals and Dodgers. Here the Marlins would like to see extra innings. And the Rockies would like to walk off in front of 35,000. A lot of them are still here. Count 2-1.
You talked about arms that are fresh out of the bullpen. Certainly Sam Dyson in that category. Good inning from Mike Dunn back in the 8th inning.
Arenado down to a knee. A swing and a miss. In the dirt. And it's full now.
Miss with his sliders if he comes back with that upper 90s fastball.
Arenado fouls it back. Arenado walked in the 7th, sack fly in the 4th, bounced out back in the 2nd. Southern California kid, high school all-star teammate of Christian Yelich's. And Dyson gets him.
Change up. 98 miles an hour the pitch before. Watch the bottom just falls out of that changeup.
Now Rosario, who homered twice yesterday in a 2-2 game at Coors Field, just one home run. It was Carlos Gonzalez against Carter Capps, and that tied the game in the 7th. Slow breaking ball. It is a fair ball. Real Muto picks it out, fires to first to get the out. Nick Hundley, the on-deck hitter, is signaling to the bench that, hey, that was a foul ball. You should review it, but you can't review fair or foul in front of the bases. Only once the ball passes the bases can you review fair or foul.
Well, Mike DeMuro was right there. He's going to have a conversation with Walt Weiss, it looks like now.
Let's take a look.
In front of the plate. You can see the mark.
Right, but not where it hits. It's where he picked it up.
It came back. You have to kind of look at where the line is, the foul line is, which doesn't extend all the way to the plate. So that's why it's a tough call for the home plate umpire.
It's a virtual line.
Yeah. Virtually called a fair ball by Mike DeMuro.
So here is Hundley.
So a couple of quick outs on some good pitches from Dyson.
A lot of activity in the Rockies bullpen. They've got a lefty up. Boone Logan is that said lefty. Dyson falls behind 3-0. There's a strike. That's ball 4. For Hundley walks. Here comes Barnes.
Not that the outfield is deep enough, but you want to make sure you cut something off here, so you really have to be deep. So that leaves a whole ton of room out there. Yelich is deep, Ozuna, Stanton, because you want to try to cut it off and keep the ball from getting in the gap and keep Hundley from scoring at first base.
It is hard to play no doubles defense here and really cut it off. I mean, you can play as deep as you want. That just seems to widen the divide, right?
Yeah, I mean, Christian Yelich is only a couple of steps from the warning track in left field. He's a long way out there. And Ozuna shading a little bit, a couple of steps to right center.
Brandon Barnes off his foot and out to Prado. Nick Hundley, the catcher, is at first. There are 2 out. Bottom 9 in a 2-2 game. Runner goes, taken, and the throw not in time. Hundley got a great jump. That's his first stolen base of the year. He'd been caught 4 times before that one.
Yeah, he had a big lead and got a good jump. Plus the throw was on the shortstop side of the bag. I think even a good throw, he's right there.
And so kind of a surprise stolen base, certainly for Dyson. We count 1 and 2, and now the hard part here when you're trying to defend this is you can't play too shallow as an outfielder. Rockies 0 for 5 in this spot. There's a little bloop, and that's what you worry about.
Oh, yeah.
In this situation. It's just a little bloop that gets out, falls in front of an outfielder. Because with 2 outs, obviously Hundley will be moving with any contact.
The outfield certainly has changed their positioning once Hundley got to second base.
Yeah, it's 2 and 2 now. Dyson to Barnes. Hit him. So Barnes is hit, and now he's at first. And the Rockies will go to their bench for another bat here. Ben Paulson is going to pinch hit.
Boy, that pitch just got away from Dyson. Now he's going to have to deal with the left-handed bat of Paulson.
And a left-handed bat with some pop in the back pocket. Paulson digs in. Dyson, you see the potential winning run in Hundley at second. A 1. It's up.
Talked about Paulson getting an opportunity with Morneau on the disabled list, so he's getting a chance to play a little more first base. He splits time with Rosario.
Clemson Tiger. Little tapper. Bohr has it. Shovels. Dyson's there. And Miami gets to extra innings. The Rockies leave 2, headed to the 10th in Denver. It's 2-2. On Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Checkers and by Jack Links, official sponsor of Extra Innings. Jack Links, feed your wild side. Shoot some white water, and you end up out in center field at Coors Field, where 35,000 are here. They've watched the Marlins and the Rockies play 9 innings. 2-2 ball game, and the Rockies go to their bullpen. A little deeper. Kyle Kendrick went the first 7. And now Boone Logan, the lefty, takes over.
Yeah, and for defensive purposes, Walt Weiss keeps Paulson in the game.
Paulson goes into that 9 spot. Logan in the double switch into the 5 spot, which means Walt Weiss may want multiple innings out of Logan here. Scott Oberg was the first out of the bullpen. John Axford pitched a scoreless 9th inning. Yelich shortening to bunt takes in. Miami got their runs right out of the gate with 2 in the first. Yelich to left. Barnes is back and there, and he makes the catch.
The Marlins have not gotten a leadoff man on since the first inning when D. Gordon singled.
And now they're working against a Rockies bullpen that has an ERA in the upper fours. Only Atlanta and Cincinnati have had a rougher ride. JT Realmuto, and Danny Echeverria, and then the pitcher spot. And with the pitcher spot possibly coming up, Miami's bullpen is active. Then Mazzaro is throwing. One of two arms down in the pen. AJ Ramos up.
Ramos at this stage just a little loosening, playing catch type. He was up once before.
Yeah, you need to keep the closer well oiled. Don't heat him up.
Yeah, should the Marlins take the lead, then obviously he would come in.
Realmuto had 4 hits on Friday and 0 for 3 here.
I'm thinking ahead already. If you get Realmuto on base, depending on the count situation, you got an opportunity for a hit and run with his speed, with Echeverria who's on deck. Because you're at the point where you got to try something. Everything's been kind of in limbo for a while. The Marlins with just 2 singles, both by D. Gordon since the first inning.
I think the Marlins wish they had a pitch or two back in the 8th when they had D. Gordon at first and Prado at the plate. And Prado ended up bouncing into a double play before Gordon was able to break and try to steal second.
Well, a moot point now with JT grounding out.
So 2 outs, and here's Echeverria, who's 0 for 3. Rays held on and beat Seattle up in Seattle. Chris Archer, 7-4, a 1.84 ERA. Put him on a list of potential all-star starters. Echeverria takes a strike.
Well, King Felix is 9-2, but a 2.51 ERA.
Boone Logan has looked sharp. As Tommy pointed out, Miami, their offense has fizzled since the first. Just the 2 hits, D. Gordon singles, and 1 walk.
And all the base hits are singles.
Justin Bour walked back in the 6th. Marlins head to Toronto, where a very hot Blue Jay team awaits them tomorrow night. Blue Jays have won 5 in a row. Marlins have the Yankees on the next homestand. The Yankees have won 6 in a row. They beat Anaheim. Echeverria to center field, hits it pretty well. Blackman goes back at the track, looks up, and is gone!
Oh, do it, Etch!
Adeiny Echeverria, a solo shot to center, and Miami has a 3-2 lead in the 10th in Colorado.
Well, looking for the first extra base hit. Couldn't have gotten it at a better time. And in this ballpark, anything in the air that's hit solidly has a chance. And Echeverria, with his 3rd home run of the year, a 7-game hitting streak, and has made some dazzling defensive plays today as well.
Jeff Baker now will hit against Logan with 2 outs. 3rd homer for Etch. And the first extra base hit of the game for Miami.
So you hit that ball at home in Marlins Park, you might have extra bases, but it's not going to carry all the way out like it does here.
Count evens on Baker, 1-1. And that Rockies bullpen, we showed you their ERA. They've been on a tough run, even though the Rockies have been winning games. Baker taps it to third. It's a foul ball. Prado. Remember when Echeverria had that great double play and Echeverria was having to show off to Prado how he did it?
Showing Prado he got a little muscle up there.
Baker pop into shallow right. LeMahieu is there and he makes the catch. Now A.J. Ramos, who's been keeping well oiled, is fully heated up, and he'll try to close out this ball game. In Denver, 2 outs, 10th inning. Adeiny Echeverria goes deep, and Miami has a 3-2 lead. Ramos, the saves and the opportunities are a bit deceiving since he's become the closer. He's 6 for 6. You see the ERA is under 1.
Boy, just great numbers for AJ. There's also just thinking about the fact that Echeverria now, if things hold up, ball club heading to Toronto, he'll be heading to the organization that signed him back in 2010. Echeverria first came to the big leagues in 2012 with the Blue Jays.
Top of the order for the Rockies. 3-2 Miami. Ramos gets Charlie Blackmon, DJ LeMahieu, and then Troy Tulowitzki. So it's the best shot that the Rockies will give you. Blackmon an all-star last year. LeMahieu might be an all-star this year. Of course, Tulowitzki has 5 hits this series.
If A.J. Ramos nails this one down, it will be a well-earned save with the guys he has to face in this inning.
Oh, 2 to Blackmon. And it stays at 0-2. This was a game where, for the Marlins, they were hopeful that Jose Urena could get it together. He had an ERA of over 7. And yet the Rockies felt the same about Kyle Kendrick. Kendrick came into this ball game with an ERA of 6.5. And he had struggled lately. Once you know, they both pitched very well. In the air to left, Yelich towards the line and in. There's 1 out. And so instead of a a 10-8 Coors Field special. It was 2-2 at the end of 9.
Yeah, and for Kendrick, his earned run average at home was 7.99 coming into today.
Here's LeMahieu, who is 1 for 4. We said at the outset of the telecast, this is a chance to win the series. And for the Marlins, a team that went through so much turmoil a couple weeks ago, they have started to do that. They've started to win series.
A win here would get them to 4-2 in the month of June. And it would bring their record to 8-11 under Dan Jennings.
Miami has won 3 of their last 4 series. Took 2 of 3 from the Orioles. In New York, 2 of 3 from the Mets. Back at home, 2 of 3 from the Cubs. Of course, they were swept by, at the time, a really hot Pittsburgh team in Pittsburgh. The 1-1. Mayhew, the big LSU star from a world champion or a college World Series championship team. To right, Stanton is there, and he makes the catch. Got a good jump at a good angle, and there's 2 outs.
You know, you think about the season, a couple of 4-game sweeps have hurt. 4-game losing sweeps to Arizona, and then 1 to the Mets.
See Ramos in rhythm.
Having it hit out toward his buddy, Giancarlo.
It's Coors Field. And here's Tulowitzki. On his bobblehead day, Tulowitzki is the only thing standing right now between Miami and a win here. And he swings and misses. He's doubled and singled and bounced out twice.
Part of that repertoire of A.J. Ramos is a good slider to start Tulowitzki with.
Fastball is fouled out of play. And Ramos is out in front 0-2. The fact that he has a starter's repertoire as a closer is somewhat unique. Very good at mixing, matching, adding, subtracting.
And the other thing that helps, if one of them isn't working, he can go to one of the others.
0-2 pitch coming. It's just out.
A lot of closers don't have that option. A lot of closers with a specialty pitch, or if they have good fastball, if they don't have command of that, they don't have anything to go to. AJ has some go-to pitches.
See what he goes to here. 1-2 coming. Check swing, he went around. Ball game. Real Muto held it. Tulowitzki argues, but the Marlins have won the ball game. Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire, and Tulowitzki still discussing, but there was no appeal. DeMuro felt he swung, and the Marlins celebrate an extra inning win and a big day for Adeiny Echeverria. Here's a look, and it looked like he swung and then bailed out.
Yeah, he went. So many times we talk about the play last year with Giancarlo when he was hit, which was called a strike. So, yeah, he swung.
Marlins Live with Jessica Blaylock is coming up 3-2. The Fish win it in extra innings and win this series and head to Toronto.